Hey everybody, it's Agent, and today in front of me I have mp30 Ratchet, but it is not actual mp30 Ratchet. I got myself one of the KO varieties of him because I see a lot of mp30 Ratchet, reviews online, but I don't really see a lot of the KO ones. I know Rocket Punch Army has one and his is pretty good. I haven't seen too many other ones, so I thought I would get them and show them off to you guys so you have a little bit more to go off of other than just one or two guys. So first and foremost, here's the package, and as you can see, it's got some very nice glossy artwork. We got him standing in his bot mode, in his Nissan van mode, and up here we see that it says Transformers Masterpiece, and Nissan Takara Tommy, and we got Transformers down there, mp30, Nissan Cherry Vanette, Cybertron Medic Ratchet. On the bottom we have some numbers, some characters, some things we can't understand, and that is about it. On the side, we have him holding his wrenches. On the other side, he's in his van, and on the back, we have him in his van with some more of those characters we can't read. Transformers Masterpiece, Ratchet, same things. Here we got him standing with a couple of his buddies, and the fact that he can fit inside of MP10's trailer. We also have him with a couple of his tools, accessories, everything like that. Wrenches, his little rocket launcher. There he is on his knees fixing somebody, and his little battle sled, and he comes with two faces. And this is a list of all of his accessories. So, yay box. Other than that, here we have Ratchet. Let me adjust the camera here. As you can see, he's a nice white van. We got some panel lines obviously because this guy goes through quite the transformation to get there. He's got a little beacon up on top for his ambulancing. And we got a nice Autobot symbol up on the front, and we know this is a KO because if you look right there, you can see in the Autobot symbol, he's missing the circle right in the top of the forehead there. So you can't make them all 100%. And then you got this side and bottom, and there's not too much, bot on the bottom. So, but you can kind of tell where some of the stuff is. Like here's his legs, and here's wheels, and I will get into what these holes are for in a second here. And there's the back. You got some windshield wiper, and inside he's got a face. Kind of an homage to the G1. The original toy had a face in there. I don't know, most of you probably do remember if you had seen him that the G1 toy, he looked nothing like Ratchet in the series. So there he is. As for his stuff that he comes with, here is his card. Ooh, a card. Yay. I don't know. Those things usually get lost. He also comes with a set of stickers. I will not be applying these because I, for one, cannot decide on which ones I want to use. They cannot have the actual red cross because, infringement rights going on there. So if I was to do it, I would probably put the Autobot symbols on there just because we need to know what he is. You also get his instructions, which are done very nicely. I mean, they are just kind of a knockoff of the originals. They're like scanned and photocopied, but they are pretty easy to read, So here's some specs. Here he is standing, a couple of the accessories, what a few of the things are, what they say, and they are in English, which is nice, so you can tell your buddies how to get the guns in his hands, and he actually has a way to store some at the top. A couple of other things. So, and this piece is actually right here. You can put that in his chest so that if he's doing a diagnostic on one of his buddies, you can do that. And then of course on the back, it's got the step-by-step of how to get him into robot mode and how to change the faces, his little battle sled, and of course sticker placement. So there that is, if you choose to read it. And as for other accessories, I mentioned the battle sled, and here is the battle sled. It holds all of his accessories that he comes with. I will go over them a little bit as we try them on where they go. They are very nicely done, if you ask me. Very nice hinges and joints. Everything moves pretty well, and sometimes they like to pop out when you put your fingers right underneath them. So, yay stuff. So I mentioned we would get into this, which here you have his laser pistols, and those actually will store right in here. Now on mine, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I sometimes have an issue getting them in there. But that could just be me. There, that one is in. And he actually comes with two. So you can put the other one in here as well. And this one really does give me a really bit of an issue. So I find that if I take that first bit, kinda get that in there and give just a little bit of a push. There we go. And they're in. So that kind of fills the gap, and it kind of makes it look like he has some exhaust underneath there. And of course, he even rolls with them on there. Still rolls quite nicely. The wheels are made of plastic, which, you know, some people that's a good thing, some it's not. And why that one's not there. Now it's going. Some people like the rubber. I prefer the plastic, honestly. I mean, I like rubber, but when it comes to the wheels, if I'm going to be storing them, the rubber tends to deteriorate a little bit quicker. Although I have had some pretty decent luck. If you saw the Shockwave review, you saw the original G1 Shockwave and his original hose, which was still 100% intact. And I also have another Beast Wars guy with rubber treads, and his are all perfectly a-okay still. So now we got that done. Well, I'm just gonna leave those in there. On the top, I mentioned you can push that in so you can get them into MP10's trailer, and there is also a little tab right here. It's push it, and then you can actually get some of his other weapons to sit in the top, so that way he can pew pew as he's going down the road. Although a medic doesn't usually do that. So you can take that out, and you know, pretty much every gun fits in there. He even has this one which fits cool in there. So they all fit quite nicely. So when you're done with that, you just push that in here. Sorry, I'll do that again. So this one is a little bit tight, so I push in and down to get it in, and it just goes right back into place. Otherwise, the one edge just kind of sits there. So there you go. All right, so one of the things it says you can do is if you push down on these, you can fit him into MP10's trailer pretty easily. So I brought MP10's trailer, and to show that he fits in there quite nicely. And see, I don't even have to push this down. But I kid. That is not MP10's trailer. That is the Weijing MPP10 trailer, which is why it is so massively huge. Because MPP10 is massively huge. I saw that guy and I said, wow, I need to have him. So I got myself an MPP10, and as you can tell just by him standing next to the vehicle mode of Ratchet, he's quite large. So I'll pull him back off to the side, stick him there, and say goodbye. Yes, I know, I did not get the logo for that yet. I will one of these days. One day I will get that. So now that that's all done, let's move on to transformation of this little guy. Yeah, he's not so little. He's actually pretty nicely sized. So the first thing you want to do is take his back end, and pop it up like so. And then if you go like that, next thing you can do is you take the back window, and it's on a double hinge. You got one there and one here. So you want to get that, swing it down, and then you want to try to get now the thing is with this, you do have to do a little bit of moving of things to get them to go through. So get that, kind of pull them off to the side a little bit because you want to get it underneath, and you want to slide this in until it clicks into place. And click, go into place. Yeah, it's not wanting to go into place for me. Actually, that is in place right there. So the next step is to get your hands in here and right here, and you pull up on this, you'll separate. You know what? I forgot something. That's why it wasn't sticking. My bad, guys. You flip this up, go over here, flip this one up, and get that like that, and this one up here as well. Pull the arms up, and there is a tab right here and a slot right there. Just get that in there like that. Same thing on this side. There's a tab and a slot. It's going to be hard to see because it is a very white figure, so he will look like that. And you can take this little piece right here, you can see it to the side of his head, and that slides down and clips onto his arm right there. And same with this side. And that just kind of holds everything in place. So that way you can take this piece, and there's that click I was talking about. Move these back up, and now he's kind of reminiscent of his G1 self. Yeah, but that's not where we're gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. So right here, as you can see, there's this bumper right here. On this was very difficult for me to get out of there. I actually had to get a tool and just to get that out of there and slide it around because, and I might have pushed that in a little too far. I thought I would leave it out. Here. Pull those out. We gotta pull those out anyways. Get this out from underneath there. I just want to get my fingers in here. All right, I pushed it in too far. My fingers are too big to fit in there, and I can't go from the top here, but as you can see in there, there is, here, I'm gonna see. It's like nothing better than trying to do something when you can't see it. I'm gonna try both fingers. Maybe I'll try using a tool. That's not gonna work. I will show you in just a minute. Hold on. Okay, so I went and got my tool, and oh, I know it's very fancy. It's a fancy tool. It's basically just a pair of pliers, and what I did was I took a nail and I bent it so that way I could get it up in there and just get it in the whole cavity, and it puts enough, it doesn't do any damage to it. It just allows me to get the leverage I need with very minimal force to get this thing out. And basically I get that right in there, and it fits in there perfect right in the center, and just turning it and it just moves. So now my thought is when you're doing it and you put them into van mode, you can leave them like that, and I honestly don't think that looks too bad. It's a lot better than just the white. So, but that's how you want it to be when you get ready to put them into bot form. So with that being like that, we take that out, we slide this up, and we got two tabs right there and there, and they go in. And there you go. So now you got this pulled out and this pulled out. And from there, you can, well, before you do that, what you want to do is get these guns out. See, they always come out a lot easier than they go in. Take the wheel. You can see how they're straight on like that. We're gonna, both of them, and this one's gonna be tight. There we go. You get both of them just off to the side. See how they're now, you know, off to the side, and that's at an angle. After you get that, take it, put it like that, and it clips right in. So the first time you do it, it's going to be really tight, and you're going to feel like you're going to break it. But after that, it's 100% a-okay. I haven't had an issue with that yet. But on this particular one, the first time, it just seemed like it was going to break, but it did not. After you do that, you can take this panel, just right there, grab it, and you just kind of work it around, because what you want to do is this, see where this rectangle is? That's going to go around like that, and you got to have the clearance so that it comes all the way out on that side without hanging you up. And then you just push that down, just like that. Same with this one, just work it around, and it's kind of like a double type of hinge, sort of. So get that in there, push it down, get it pushed in, and there you go. Then you take this panel, these two panels, and they will move down like that. Now they get a little stuck right there, and this is some of the bending you need to do. The one panel that you just had down, it's got a big tab on it, so you just kind of go up and over. Pull this down just a little bit and get that up and over, and that kind of holds everything in place. And then you can do the same over here. Get your nail in there, pull it down just a little, and now we'll get it back up in place. Once you do that, you can move these down like I was going to do originally. See, just like that, because you're going to take these, turn them, and you will see a slot and a peg, and that goes in, and it doesn't line up, so you got to push this in right to where it lines up and clip that in. Okay, same with this one. Put it in, clip, and there's his skirting all done. As you can see, the only thing there is you just separate the legs and you give them a complete, well, you gotta pull them out a little bit and turn them. So pull, turn, and then his toesies, and you will see on his toes there's only one way you can go, because that's where it's rounded. So you just turn it that way till it clips. Come on, turn it this way till it clips. And then on the back, right where the bumpers are, just get your nail under there. I need 2 nails because it's a little tight. There's 1, 2 nails. There's 2, there's his heel spur. And the only thing we have left to do is his arms. Get him to stand. I'll move my camera up. Arms are pretty simple. You can see where they are, right there. You just open that panel, and see if I can get it at an angle here. You can see right here, there is a hinge. So you move it up, and you clip it into place right there. So, and then this little panel goes like that. Rotate the hand, and then there's a tab, and that just goes into that slot, like so. And you do the same on this one. Turn, slide, tab, and there's 2 hands, and then you just bring them down like that. And that one came out. And there you go. And there he is in all of his magnificent ratchety glory. So I'm not very good at posing them, but you know, every time I do, they just kind of seem like they got sad faces going on. It's like he's pouting a little bit. But speaking of faces, so you got that combat sled that I showed you before, which I now have completely void of anything. There's one more piece that goes on here, but it goes underneath. And it's really a goofy looking place, but his extra face sculpt is underneath there, and it kind of makes it look like he was transformed into that. So, weird. But what we can do is, with him, you can take his face and you just put your fingers on the top, hold on to his head, you pull his face off, and there's just a tab back there. So you just put that and slide it back in, and now you got a nice looking smirk face. Yeah, nice little smirk face. So, and he's got some nice blue eyes in there, and he's got some nice gunmetal gray, but otherwise he's pretty white and red. Now this isn't painted, this is just the color of the plastic, just like with his hands. But he's got a lot of nice detail. I mean, for a KO, it's not too bad. And it's even got his little butt cheeks back here, and they roll. And he stands up just well. You can actually do a couple different poses with him. He is very well articulated, which what we'll do is his head is on a ball joint, so it can do a complete 360. And then it also has some downward motion. I mean, he looks down, but if you untab that, I mean, it's completely separates there. So he can look down into his chest. So, go back in. There we go, back in. His arms go around, pretty much that far. Because of the way this is designed, this comes all the way up to the front, so it kind of hits there, and that's it. So, he goes up that far, goes back that far. He's got a nice elbow, which goes about 90, and it goes back just a little bit. He's got does he have upper arm rotation? No upper arm rotation. No elbow, no shoulder rotation, but he does have rotation at his fist, which opens and closes. Is just a pin through there. And his legs, he can go, if you move the skirt up, he goes up that high. He goes back that far. The knee goes about that much of a distance. And it's got a little bit of play, but not much. He does have knee rotation. He also has a little bit of rotation at the upper thigh. I forgot to point out he can go up that far. Now if you take this and you move it, you can get a little bit more, but it kind of pushes his wheel up towards where it normally would be. Well, I guess it's not too bad then. So we'll just put that back where it belongs. Because I don't know too many people that actually sit and they pose their fingers dancing like that. I know I don't. So, as for the knees, we already did the knees. The feet have ankle tilt. And it's got pretty good ankle tilt on both of them. You can get a nice wide stance if you need it. There is a little bit of forward and backward play. Not much, but just enough. And his toes, you can rotate them due to transformation. But if you do that, they're not going to sit. He's going to be like, I sprained my ankle, and I'm going to fall over. So, yeah, not too much there, but that's okay. He's still a really nice figure. And of course, he can hold all of his weapons, not all at the same time. So the first thing we'll do is he comes with a rocket launcher, which is this piece right here. It's very well chromed. It's got a little bit of articulation right there. It's got some right there, and it also has another bit right here, and that's not going in focus because of this guy. I'm going to move him there. So there's that. It's got a hole in it for the anti-flyer missile, as they call it. Now it just falls out, no biggie, because usually if you got this on him in that mode or in the robot mode, you take this pin and put it in that hole, give it a little twist, move it up, move it there, and that is where it sits. So not too much chance of it falling out like that. So we're just going to keep that there. If you notice on his arms, he's got hole there, hole there. He also has his, what do they call this one? This is his repair beam emitter. I think that's what that one is. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. Repair beam emitter. And that just gets pushed in right there. So that goes on his arm. And if you want, you can flip this up, rotate his hand in, and you can do this on both sides. And there's a little, see, there we go. There's a little tab at the end of his, where his wrist used to be. And you can take this piece, which is his arc welder. And on the back, it's got the hole for that slot, or that tab. You just push that on, and there you go. He's getting decked out to the nines here, sort of. And he also has his magno wrench, which you just put in his hand, close it up. So he's blasting and he's fixing at the same time. He also comes with two regular wrenches. Both of these look exactly the same. Yeah. Turn it around. And he holds them. I mean, everything you put in his hand, he holds really well. So it's all nice and tight. And of course, he's got his laser scalpel. And because this one goes in his palm and it's held, it's got the tabs on the side. And he's going to wave at the camera here. You can see there's a slot right in his hand right there. So I always have a little bit of an, go figure, slides right in, close his palm up, there goes his missile, and we shake him about. See, it's not going to fall out. It's in there really good. And he's got this one, which is what do they call this one now? This has a longer name, if I recall. And of course, this is the one that's not going to want to go in for me right off the bat. Go like this. There we go. I just have to be looking at it. This one too, he holds this one pretty well too. This one is called the static laser gun. And if you have the Ironhide mold, you're going to notice a lot of this stuff looks almost exactly the same. I mean, right down to his regular twin blasters, which, same thing. You go to get that in, put it in, close it up, and there he is holding his twin blaster. And I've been putzing with them so much, this piece came out. There we go. Just that easy. Now, I did mention there was a piece for the windshield, which you just untab it, and that's this piece. Slide it in and close it up. And there you can pretty much, oh, I forgot an accessory. When he's working on stuff, this is basically like a pew-pew effect, or it's a welding effect or a fixing effect, and that just kind of goes right on the tip here of that one. So it doesn't really hold that well, but what you can do is, if you can get it on there, let's just pull in this guy here, his little buddy, and you can hold it up next to it. He's like, yay, I'm fixing you. Another thing you can do is, come on, it goes on the tip of this one, which it slides on all the way, but it's very loose. I was thinking maybe a hair dryer. You can do the same thing. You can pretty much, let's see, this guy, you can pop his head open. So let's pop his head open, tilt him over, and we will have him blasting inside of his head. Let's get that in there. We'll zoom in on it. Whoop. And he's done fixing him. So I'll pull this guy off to the side again, because we don't really need him. That guy, I'm waiting on some parts before I show you him. But there we go. As for a size comparison, so here is next to Prowl. You can see he's a little bit taller than Prowl. Take Prowl away here, and we'll put him next to Shockwave. They're relatively good height with each other, huh? I think so. And take Shockwave out, put him off to the side. And we'll put them next to Generation 1 Sideswipe. Ooh, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. And these ones were a little bit smaller. And here he is next to Hot Rod. So it's probably a good thing he got blasted in the movie. I'll move him off to the side. And for some more recent comparisons, here he is with a Voyager size Springer, so he's just a little bit taller than that. And I don't think I'm going to bother with the other ones because we know he's taller than they are. So there he is. I got mine from bestgray.com. For a KO, I think it's great, but most of the times I suggest if you are going to get a masterpiece figure, always support Takara, because without them we wouldn't have these guys. So if you can afford it, go with Takara. If you can't, or if you just want one that you can sit and play with for hours on end, you go ahead and get a KO, and you don't have to worry about it breaking because you're not out very much money. So in the meantime, this is Agent saying peace.